That's right, 98.9 Northwest FM. You're on CarTorque with Matty J. Joining the studio with Adam Grasser, and of course we just had James from Man vs Movies.
Oh, Man vs Movies. You have to get used to saying that now.
Yeah, it's got a good ring to it. I might add.
I like it. Can I just say that was Q Lazarus with Goodbye Horses. The reason I played that was because of Melbourne Cup. Please don't shoot the horses that lost. Please treat
don't
the
make
horses
them glue.
well. Sometimes they don't treat the horses very well. You also might recognise it's from the Silence of the Lambs soundtrack, where Buffalo Bill is dancing. How can I put it? Cross-dressing, I guess, is the very polite community radio way of putting it.
Can I just confirm, Man vs Movie, you don't actually eat the movie, do you?
No, I fight the movie with my fists. Bare fist, no glove. And I beat it and I say, entertain me, engage me. And if it doesn't, I just knock its teeth out.
Yeah. Does it ever hit you back?
No, of course not. It's a movie. It has no hands.
There's no hands. Well, welcome, Adam.
How you going?
No, not bad, not bad. Tonight's topic we're talking about is one I've been dying to talk about for the last, 19th or 20th week here on 98.9 Northwest FM. It is Aussie Muscle. This is a great topic. I've finally got Ads in the studio. He's a big Aussie car guy. Everyone loves a bit of Aussie Muscle. You know, like I don't care even if you're like, you know, you're a Jap guy or a Euro guy. You'll have some soft spot for a bit of Aussie Muscle. And tonight I want to talk about our personal favourites, what we potentially see as just all time classics, and just general chit chat about them. So obviously Adam's big into his cars and big into his Aussie Muscle. He comes from a big Chrysler background, the old Chargers. So tell us about your brother's Charger.
Well, I'll go back a bit further. My dad's Charger. So he had a 74 VJ. I was actually talking to him about it recently. A few little details that he forgot to mention, when I was a bit younger. And he goes, "Oh yeah, I put fat tires on the back, repainted the interior, from white to black." I was like, "Oh yeah, no worries." So no, it was pretty cool. Apparently it was a yellowy colour. Had the jelly beans. It had a 265. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he did much engine work, but yeah, it was still a cool car. Unfortunately, he let that go for a Fiat. So yeah, but otherwise that was pretty cool. And fast forward, I don't know how many years, 30 years, let's say, for example, when my brother goes out and buys one. Coincidentally,
our old teacher's one.
Yeah, coincidentally with my help,
Did you get a finder's fee?
Oh, I should have, man. I should have got a bit of a bonus there or something, At least let me have the car for a few years and then you can have it. He coincidentally got it off a teacher that was at our school. So I saw it one day. I took a photo of it, showed him. He's like, "Oh, yeah, sweet, no worries." And this teacher just happened to live around the corner from my parents' place. And he just wanted to sell. He was looking. He had another project actually on the go. It was a VJ,
you got a Pacer,
VH. I think it was a VH Pacer. Because it had the different rear ends. Oh, look, it could have been a VH or VJ Pacer, but nevertheless, it was an original Pacer, which he stripped, bare metal, resto. Really good job on that. I remember seeing that was pretty cool.
He did a few cars as well.
Yeah, I think he did a few. He had the Mustang as well.
Yeah, he had a 65.
Yep. But he never actually restored the Charger. He only did the Pacer. So the Charger was pretty much as is. I think it had a blowover really early in its life, or maybe later, I don't know. Yep. Interior was just redone, but otherwise it's a pretty original car.
It is a neat car. I've seen it personally. It's a really clean car. That's good to get into the Chargers side of things, because we are going to be talking about Chargers tonight. It is the Aussie Muscle special. We'll start off with old school Aussie Muscle. We've got some likes on our Facebook page, and I put it out to our great listeners at home what Aussie Muscle cars they're into, and a good friend of mine, Jason Todd, big ups to him. He listed a few. He listed the GTHO XY, the Phase 3, the SLR 5000, which is a cracking little car, GTR XU1, again another Tirana, and E49 Charger, which is I was going to bring up with you. XW GT Phase 2 and the XA GT RPO Option 83, which we were talking about a few weeks ago.
Yep.
Is a really cool car. Bit of history for that car. It was pretty much supposed to be they used all the old spare parts bin from the Phase 4 and that. So
they're cleaning up the warehouse, really. Pretty much.
Just saying, we'll decide to chuck these parts in the car. But so he's put some good ones in there. The E49 obviously for you is one of your all-time favorite cars. It is a special car.
E49 was, I guess, there was a few models though. That's the thing. There was the E37, E38, E49. So there was a few there, and then you had the 770s as well.
The E49 in particular, though, that was a special car.
E49 was the last incarnation of the RTs. Yeah. And obviously they stopped. And it was funny. There's quite a few models there, but they only lasted one model range, the VH. So yeah, that was. Triple Webbers, so everything was 265 with the triple Webbers. Everything was finally tuned after the previous models and everything, and had the big tank, the 160-litre tank in the boot. It was pretty cool. 225-ish or 24-ish kilowatts. They had a lot of NA as well. They went. And remember, that was a straight 6 NA. They could have made more.
Yeah,
they could have made more with more tuning, this, that, bigger cams, whatever. But back then, that was incredible for factory performance. I mean, it would start fights, but they were quicker than any other car.
They were, yeah.
And I think they were the quickest NA6 up until the BA turbos.
Yeah, they were.
And that's a long time. It's a long time for everyone to catch up to Chrysler's R&D from back in the 70s,
which is still today it's a quick car. Like it'll still pull 14 second quarters. It'll do it all day, and it was a very special car. It didn't get the recognition it deserved until recently.
Yeah.
It's only started recently to be okay. This was a cracking car, and it's finally getting the respect it kind of deserves.
Yeah, so that's true. They were cheap as chips. They weren't as recognised because they didn't win Bathurst. The GTHOs won Bathurst.
Are they still? They're not still cheap as chips.
Oh hell no!
Back in the day, they were cheap as chips.
Back in the day, let's say. I mean, look, it wasn't exactly cheap as chips. An average wage back then was bananas, really. So, I think an RT. This is only going roughly off the top of my head. I think they were about $3,500 to $4,000 thereabouts, which is a lot of money back then. It was. But then you could pick up a standard Charger for like $2,500.
So they're pretty much double in price.
Doubled.
Close.
Yeah, they've quadrupled. Oh, I mean, in terms of
when their original price,
double the price. But
having said that, you look at like a for example, a GTS is like pretty much double the standard Commodore anyway. So
that's true.
So it's in terms of performance and that, it's pricing's kind of been the same kind of thing.
But back then, those things were animals with no safety features.
They would stop once and then next corner brake fade.
Yeah, the brakes were gone. That's it. Forget about it. You have to use if you're lucky, the handbrake. But then again,
it just makes you appreciate how they were driving these things at Bathurst and that. They're pretty much straight factory floor
power
cars.
Steering.
No power steering.
Nothing. Yeah, just and the seats.
The RTs didn't even have brake boosters.
Really?
No brake boosters in the RTs.
So they wouldn't have been power assisted then.
No.
There you go. There you go. Look, we're going to go to a quick break. We'll continue this right after this. That's right, 98.9 Northwest FM. You're back on CarTorque with Matty J, still in the studio with Adam and James. Obviously, James, again, just give him a big endorsement for his new show. Tell the people.
Man vs. Movies, every Tuesday night at 6 p.m.
Get on it, people, now. So he's going to be obviously putting up a podcast as well, and I'll chuck a link onto that on my Facebook page. And if you haven't got my Facebook page, it's CarTorque with Matty J on
TORQUE
CarTorque as in pun intended.
With the Aussie accent, we have no R, so
it's just talk, mate.
CarTorque.
CarTorque, mate. Anyway, back on Aussie Muscle, old school muscle. We've just talked about the E49. It's actually one of my personal favourites as well. Since Grasso got me into them, I've come really around to them.
Hey, look, they're pretty close to the Fords, straight sixes. Come on, man.
They are, and
inline sixes.
And that's why, I've got a magazine. Actually, it was they called them the 6-cylinder gods, and they had an E49. next to our R34 GDR and the BA Typhoon when it came out, and they said pretty much if the Charger was built today, it'd be a Typhoon.
Dual overhead cams. The pistons are huge in that.
Yeah.
It's insane. But they'd be monsters. I'd love to see it reincarnated as a new engine, but it won't happen, unfortunately.
It won't happen, unfortunately. You know, it is RIP to our motoring thing here. So, but anyway, we'll get back to it. So we'll start with Holden. Holden's had some crackers over the years, especially with their old school muscle. I want to classify old school up to about, let's say, 1990, like as a cutoff at 1990. For me, one of my favorites would be. It copped a lot of crap at the time, but because this is a later one. But the Director, HDD Director, the VL Director.
Yes.
Yeah. Which the car that basically got Brock and GMH to have a massive split. I had the Energy Polarizer. We're not going into that today, but that car was engineered with independent rear suspension out of a car from, I think it was an Opel. I can't remember what the Opel was, but it was pretty techy car. It was based on a Calais, so I was always a big fan of that. The body kit was a bit ostentatious, but as they all were. But having said that, the Walkie, the VL Walkie, straight after that was a really cool car. Going back a bit further, I always kind of liked. I've got a big soft spot for Tiranas, so obviously an A9X if you can find one.
If it's not a mock-up,
and an A9X they were just cool. I mean, today you see one, you're like, wow, that's an A9X. You're a big Tirana fan, Ads. So
yeah, I do like Tiranas. They're sick little cars. I mean, they're small.
They are very small, actually. Yeah.
People put in 350s and then stroking them, and then even bigger. It's insane.
I remember a guy told me his old man had just a basic Tirana, and he put some monster engine in it. First time he drove it out, he put his foot down, he kicked the chassis. The amount of torque the car, and he basically ruined the car. So he unless he would have done this, I don't think he realized how weak the car was, but he should have strengthened it up a bit. But definitely an A9X. As my friend Jason was saying on our Facebook page, XU1, the GTR XU1, and the SLR 5000, which you're a big fan of.
Yeah, they're sick.
They are sick. They're very cool. I also kind of liked. I forgot. I've got a mental blank now.
What model? What is it? A Ford or Holden?
Monaro. Was the HQ Monaro, I think it was?
Yeah, the two-doors.
Two-door one, yeah. Even the four-door ones were kind of cool, but the two-door ones looked hot.
Long. They look cool. And you know what? Probably, it's a Valiant thing again, but the Valiant coupes, the two-door Valiant coupes, they look almost a spitting image of the Monaros, the two doors. Maybe a little bit longer.
They had by a whisker, I'd say.
But if anything, more rare than a lot of other cars out there, because not a lot of them survived. But they look amazing. They look sick.
Yeah, they do. And anyway, those Monaros, the later ones had like 350 Chevs in them and stuff. Yeah. So they actually got up and went pretty well. But for me, I was always a bit of a fan of the Tirana. It was a really cool little car, very nimble, especially at Bathurst. Was just hugging corners like no tomorrow. I think Brock said, believe it or not, he on the last lap of I forgot which Tirana it was, but he last lap he set the lap record in it, and of the race, and he won by like 6 laps or something. So something insane amount of space. But any Holdens you fancy in particular, Ads?
Any Holdens? Holden. Look, the Monaros are sick. They're cool. They're cool cars. But look, back then, what dominated from the Holdens was the Tiranas, the Monaros. I mean, what, the odd Kingswood with the 350 in it, maybe the 308. I don't know. Like, there wasn't. The
Sandmans were cool.
Sandmans were cool. I don't know. Did they come optioned with many performance things or many performance?
More like a beach.
They were, but I think they still came with an 8. But look, I don't know too much about them. But they would have been cool looking cars.
I'd love a Sandman now. A few years ago, they were worth nothing, but they're so cool. A Sandman is cool. Moving over to the arch nemesis of Holden, the Blue Oval. Now, people at home know that I'm a bit of a Ford fan. I'm not going to lie, but
you don't say.
You don't say. But they have had some real memorable ones, as we mentioned previously. The GTHO, obviously the Phase 3, Phase 2. But I'm going to talk about some of the forgotten ones. I reckon the XE ESP is one of the coolest cars to come out of Ford. Okay, it wasn't the most fastest thing, but with the 5.8, the big Cleveland, and it had the shield seats, two-tone bodywork. The amount of options that it came with, because it was basically a family gear, just
all electronics, premium audios, body kit,
Bilstein shocks. It had a full revised suspension.
They decked it out.
It was a cool car, and now people have realised, because about 10 years ago, these cars you could still pick up for like 10 grand. Even a few years ago, earlier than you can get. I saw one on Unique Cars magazine, like on the ones that got away. It was like, I think it was like $4 grand for and it was a 5.8. Now you'd be looking in the 30s.
Nah, I think didn't we recently see one for 80 grand?
Yeah, 80 grand. Oh yeah, we did too.
80 grand.
That's insane. That's I don't think an ESP's there yet, but it's not 80 grand's worth, but it's.
No, it's you know what, they're worth what someone's willing to pay, and if someone wants that, they'll pay 80 grand.
Yep,
that's it.
At the end of the day, you're right. A car's only worth as much as someone's going to pay for it. So, if someone pay 80 grand, someone will buy it. So the XD and XE ESPs actually were pretty cool as well. Going back a bit further, I've always liked XB coupes. XB GT coupes are just.
You can't go past the XA XB coupes.
Yeah, they're just they are a sexy car.
They're a good looking car, and they're rare.
Yeah,
they're very rare. I mean, when I say rare, I mean rare for your average person to just go, I'm just going to go out and buy an XA XB coupe. I'm just going to find one in the local paper or on car sales. Good luck. Good luck.
Good luck. Good luck finding a clean one for a good price, because all clean ones are like, 80, 90, 100 grand now.
Yeah, and they're all done right. They're sick cars.
Yeah, they are sick cars. I mean, look, what's his name? Has got one.
Eric Banner.
And he crashed it, but he repaired it, and it's all good again. But that was a cool car. It was, a friend of mine, Steve, the electrician, he actually cruised with him one night.
Nice.
Yeah, and he's like it was a sick car. So
they just look cool. I mean, they're fat.
They are a fat
but
car.
they're ready for the track. Those things they'll track pack
back in the day, and then you got like the XC Cobras, which were really cool as well. So they were like a limited run from Ford, and again with the RPOs as well. Also I was going to say the HO Phase 4, not many people know about. I think they only released 4 of them.
Didn't like one get destroyed and one was in a
something like that.
Something.
They all had their kind of but there is, I think, 1 or 2
in the wild,
in existence. I think the Bowden family, they do. I think they've got one in their fleet. It's that was going to be like the be all and end all of Aussie Muscle cars until the supercar scare. So
what did that have in it? Believe
it or not, it was a 4-door. It wasn't a coupe.
Yeah, I remember. It was pretty much a spitting image of the XW.
Yep.
Or XY.
It was pretty much, but in an XA trim, XA body. I think they came with a cage as well in them.
Really?
From factory. Yeah.
They were planning to release that.
They were. It was like a legit. It was 160 mile an hour.
And that's exactly why they didn't. Didn't continue, because they were just going crazy. But yeah, cool.
It was quite a bit of an animal. But yeah, there's been a few more from back in, I'd say from the 80s. You could go a bit more techie with like turbo, VL turbo. You can go, because they are very popular, especially a Calais turbo these days in Calais turbo trim. You're looking at 30K for a clean one. Like that one hasn't been like BT1 to its death.
There's plenty of options. I mean, I think there's more BT ones now than there were actually manufactured. So, yeah. And the same goes for XYs and XWs.
Tons of mock-ups.
There's so many mock-ups. I mean, they just grab a standard Falcon 500, I'm pretty sure. No, the Fairmonts.
Fairmonts, yeah.
They grab a Fairmont.
A lot of them Fairmonts.
They, with a 351, they just slap the goodies on it. That's it.
And you can buy tons of the reproduction parts now anyway.
Yeah.
You can get them absolutely everywhere.
Any guy and their dog can build it in their shed, and off you go. You got a GTHO.
But having said that, It is awesome. You know why? Because you can actually drive it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Whereas you take out a GTHO, you'll be like, oh my god, it's just like
someone's going to steal it.
Someone's going to nick it. This was sold a few years ago for like $1 million.
Yeah.
Technically, it's still like it's still a $500,000 car today, but it's. They don't get driven like the Desert, whereas a mock-up one you can just like thrash the crap out of it and say it's a mock-up. It's only worth $60,000 anyway, regardless. It'll never be worth as much as that.
Yeah, rebuild it the next weekend, whatever.
Yeah. So I got a good mate of mine out at work. He's done a XT and he put it to like it was a family and he made it full. It was a GT. He made it a GT replica. And he hammers the crap out of that thing, and he enjoys it, And he's like, it's a car to be driven. He's like, you'd be too scared to take a real one out.
Yeah.
So I don't see anything wrong with a mock-up as long as it's done right, and as long as it's got to be enjoyed, So.
That's what it comes down to, though.
It does.
If you got a car sitting in the garage, I mean, you probably enjoy it, puts a smile on your face, but when you actually drive it, take it out, people look, that's cool.
It is. Cool.
That's actually cool.
It is cool. I reckon the whole XA, XB, XC, like probably would be my favorite, my favorite generation of Fords because they were just a fat looking car. Like they were cool. But having said that, at the same time as the Chargers and that, like they all kind of had a similar shape.
Look, just thinking on it, just going back on it, all the coupes.
Yeah.
So you had the XA, XB, XC, and you had that's Ford covered, right?
Yeah.
And you got the Valiant Chrysler. You got the Charger, and you had the coupes. Then you had Holden. They had the GTS, the coupes there. I mean, all the coupes were sick. They were cool looking. When you think of a sports car, right? You say to someone, "Oh, yeah, I got a sports car." Straight away, it comes to your head: two-door, a coupe, something like
high
that.
High power, yeah.
Massive amounts of power, turbo. I mean, these days it's like turbo or bi-turbo V8s and this, that. But back then it was like, oh yeah, a big V8 or a massive straight six, blah blah blah. So I mean, that's cool. Everyone had their coupes back then. It was pretty cool.
And at the end of the day, times have changed, but we can still appreciate those cars. And like if we're moving forward, because we've only got an hour show tonight, the Monaro, when they brought it back, that was a massive hit because it was a two-door muscle car again, and it's sold in great guns. It's sold in the States as the GTO, and it's if Ford would have done that, would have brought like a two-door Falcon back to reminisce of the XA, XB, XC days, it would have been a massive hit.
Even Monaros, I mean, let's say current day Monaros, let's say from I think they came out in 04, thereabouts up until the last one. They still hold their value.
They hold their value
That's
very
incredible.
well. Yeah.
I mean, and you think they're just a two-door Commodore.
But at the end of the day, you got your options like the CV8.
Yes, CV6.
Yeah,
CV8, CV8Z. Yeah, there was.
CV8Zs are cool.
Yeah,
I'd totally rock one of those. I reckon they're a great car.
That burnt orange car looks sick.
Tough.
Yeah,
it was.
I wasn't a fan of the bonnet scoops, like the bonnet in the speed holes. Let's say.
Speed holes.
But. Yeah, no, they did look cool. They did look cool.
The actual speedos, they did grow on me. I became a fan of them in the end. There was a nice one. I used to drive all the way to Ringwood every day for work. And there was one that was just sat at the front of a coffee shop every day. It must have been the owner's car. Jeez, it was nice. And it had the backlights was the Series 2, so it was all tinted. It was a tough car, and it looked nice. And in the wheels, it had CV8Z.
Yeah, they're cool wheels. Yeah.
I'd be like, if I was to get like a modern day Holden, I'd totally get one of those. I'm a big fan.
You wouldn't buy a Holden. You wouldn't buy a Holden.
I totally would. You underestimate me, Adam, guys.
I don't know, man.
You totally underestimate me. I'd buy one of those, or I'd buy a Maloo. I love Maloos.
I wouldn't buy a Magoo. Come on, man.
I would buy a Maloo. I'll tell you what, I'd buy a Maloo over. I'd buy a Maloo. Okay, I'll buy a Maloo over a BA or BFGT. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Or even an FGT.
We're talking about Utes here, right? Would you buy a Pursuit?
I'd buy a Maloo over a Pursuit.
Bull.
No. Hand on heart.
Pursuits are better.
No, they're not. I love Maloos.
Okay.
Look, the latest Maloo with the LSA supercharged engine is just... Dude, it's a killer car.
They're a boat. They're big cars.
They are a big car, but they're... Jesus, they handle good as well.
They sound good and they handle good, I guess. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, see, I'd have one over Pursuit. I'm an Aussie guy. I'm an Aussie car guy. I'm an any car guy, but I'm a Ford car guy through and through, as you guys know. I love Maloos, though. I'd have a Maloo. In my dream garage, a Maloo would be there.
Next to a Pursuit.
Okay, next to a Pursuit. There you go. But a Maloo would definitely be there. Like a Gen F one with a Gen F, LSA one would be on point. I'd rock one of those every day. I reckon.
You'd probably put a straight six barrow in there.
Straight six barrow. Hashtag barrow of the world, people. Hashtag barrow of the world. No, they're just a dope car. They're mean. They sound good. They got the bimodal exhaust. They just sound tough. A guy at Supertube I work with, he actually bought. He didn't buy a supercharged one, but he bought a Series 1 Gen F, and it's thunder. That's what it stands for anyway. So it's a cool car. Talking modern day cars, we'll get right back to after this break. We're got to go to a quick song, but keep that in mind. Modern day Aussie, like from 1990 onwards. We'll be right back on CarTorque. You're back on CarTorque with Matty J. We've had some good discussions during the break. My brother's told Adam to get his ass into gear and get a new car. But I think you might have an announcement for my brother and piss him off very shortly. Getting into modern Aussie cars from 90s onwards. We'll say late model stuff. I got a few personals. I want to say obviously the ED XR8 Sprint. They're actually starting to really appreciate. I've talked about them a few times on this show. So if you want to get one now. Obviously that EL and EF XR6s and XR8s as well. I should put that out. They're really starting to appreciate.
They're appreciating, and there's
good reason too. Well.
Look, there's some really dodgy ones out there because a lot of P-platers obviously got their hands on them, as with every performance car in its time, and they just thrash them. But there's a lot of good examples actually coming out, and they're asking for premiums, and we're not talking like 50 grand, but compared to what they were worth, let's say 10 years ago, they're asking for good prices, and you're getting quality cars. So they are quality cars when you think about them. Some of them actually got, let's say, under 100,000 Ks, which is incredible.
That's nuts. They are a good car, and they're actually getting really sought after these days. Also, I was going to say, sticking with Ford, AU Series 3 XR8 220s. 227 for the 220 kilowatts, and the obviously the Tickford T3s, TE and TS50s. They're fantastic. They're a fantastic motor car.
I think they've appreciated.
They have.
They've appreciated. Let's say a few years ago or so. Because I remember looking at them in general, and their prices either they're steady or they're pretty decent for what they are, and. Yeah, they're cool cars though. Stroked, they're incredible cars. They
had a fantastic engine. Going a bit more forward, I think like the BAB FGTs and like FGGTs, they've kind of lost their like the big GT badge, because they just became kind of just like just like an everyday car. But if you're going to talk about something Aussie classic, you're going to go instant classic. You're going to go with Typhoon because the XR6 turbo as well with the straight six turbo.
Let's say
4.6 as well, which is super rare. Anything I'm going to say anything with an XR with the Barra 6, is going to be worth a bit of money.
You can almost say anything with limited run builds that they've made in the last few years that have an FPV badge slapped on them, which is the majority of the limited run builds. They're going to be cars to probably hold on to for a little bit. GTR
specs, we're talking about we're talking about GTFs as well. So the GTF was the final 335. Well, it was actually had more than 400 kilowatts, believe it or not. GTF 351. 351 still for the output as a homage to the old 5.8. So they were real cool car, very fast car. They're worth over 100 grand, and obviously later models XR8 and XR6 Sprints. They're best of the breed in the FGX trim. We'll get to Holden because we're actually running out of time for the show. Obviously, I'm big fan of the Monaros, a big fan of Maloos. Even you can find a really early Maloo out of like either one's a VP or VN. They're really, really rare. Like they are super duper rare.
VNs were pretty. VPs.
VPs,
really rare.
Super rare. Like you don't see them, and there was like under 100 made for them in 1 year or something. So like they're a really rare car. I kind of like them because they were different. They had a really cool way of saying Maloo. It looked very 90s, very.
Looked like a lightning bolt.
It did, yeah, like it did. And then obviously then you get W427, which is just like 7-litre bloody Corvette engine out of a Z06, which is pretty dope. Anything from Holden from your
Any of the HSVs were, they're
GTS,
obviously special cars. The GTSs,
latest one especially, it's just a fantastic car.
Yeah, they're cool cars, and especially when Walkinshaw get their hands on it, or let's say someone starts to drop a few images onto the system there, and they start tuning it. That's when that opens them up. They're pretty cool.
They make big power. Anything with an LS makes real good power.
Yeah, but the problem is they're generalized. Yeah. Oh, let's just drop an LS in something, But
hashtag LS the world.
Yeah, pretty much. But no, they do make good power. And look, one of our clients that we look after, they tune LSs, and it's LS for life for them. And they made incredible power out of some of these cars, supercharged, and they just ramp them up. It's crazy.
I also like the later model Caprices and stuff as well. I reckon they're pretty much a gangster car. Like they're long wheelbase. They come with everything, and they look good as well.
They're VHA spec.
Yeah, VHA spec. One more in particular I was going to add in there. The GTSR. It wasn't the nicest looking car, but it's obviously.
We're talking about the VRs.
VSs.
Oh, you had the big spoiler on the back.
Yeah. But you know what? It was a stroked 5-liter Holden engine, actually, and they sound nuts. They sound really good. They went good as well. Just really, really cool looking as well. I thought. We got a text from Dr. Rock. He says, him and Abby are driving. Can you do me a favor and yell? I'll yell, look out, just specifically for you, Dr. Rock. You at home? Any other ones? Any other honourable mentions?
Look, I think we've probably missed something. There's probably going to be someone that says, "Oh, yeah, you didn't mention this car." But look, there's been quite a few throughout the years, and some of the Aussie-made cars, they won't be forgotten. They're always going to be around, but yeah, unfortunately, it's unfortunate that they won't be made anymore. But we've still got them, still floating around. So, what do you reckon, James?
Sounds good to me. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. It's like car.
I think you went to sleep for a second.
Visit V8 2 terabyte.
Yeah, V8 2 terabyte
8 gig engine with
1 gigabyte of RAM
with the killer wasps.
With the extra killer wasps.
Extra killer wasps. Yeah.
I think it's quiz time, Ads.
Oh, again.
You want to be top of the charts, and I can see it in your face. So we're going to get to our quiz right now, actually, because we're going to run out of time, and we're going to get to a development that happened with me over the week. And someone texted in. I think it's Dr. Rock again. Hey James, seen Doctor Strange? Yes, he did. His podcast will be up very shortly. So listen to that. He talked about the movie. But I think it's quiz time, Ads. You ready?
Done.
Question 1, Adam Grasso. The Ford Mustang is available in Australia with what 2 engines?
It's a joke as well. Jeez. The EcoBoost and the 5-litre.
Yeah, 4-cylinder 5-litre.
Yeah.
Correct, yeah. Question 2. Who has the most Rally Constructors Championships out of any manufacturer?
Say that again, sorry.
Who has the most Rally Constructors Championships out of any manufacturer?
Subaru?
Nah. Is that your final answer?
Ford?
Nah, it's Lancia.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's actually new. All right, cool.
You should get this one. Question 3. The Ferrari F40 had what size engine?
If I get it wrong, you're going to kill me.
It is a V8, but it's what size? Like in capacity. I'll give you a hint. It wasn't big.
Yeah, I was going to say 5. That's what I was going to say, but I'm
2.9 litre.
Wow.
Yeah, really tiny engine. You have to put it this way. You have to get everything right to kind of equal Luke's score.
All right. Make them easy now then.
Question 4. The next generation Commodore will be based on what vehicle?
An Opel of the sorts, or
yeah, it's an Opel.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you the name. I actually haven't been looking.
They released them here. And
Insignia.
Yeah, they.
Oh, really? They're going to base it on that now?
Yeah, they are.
Wow, fair enough. They're cool cars.
They are pretty cool. Question 5. What legendary nameplate from the Commodore will be dropped when the new vehicle arrives? It's been with the Commodore for a long time. They still sell it as a Commodore something.
As in like we're talking like a model. So it's like Commodore Amiga or something like that.
But it's the most famous nameplate with the Commodore.
Most famous nameplate? SS?
Yeah, SS.
Super Sport, wasn't it?
Yeah, Super Sport. Okay, later model Torino and Levins, which are Corollas, came with a different version of the legendary 4AG four-cylinder engine. What differences did they have?
Individual throttle bodies.
Yes, it did.
Okay, there you go. I was right on one thing. Okay, cool.
As one.
Dual overhead cams.
They both had. They
both had them. Okay.
Look, I'll give you the points because you got ITBs. It also came with the 20 valve head, which is really cool.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So I'll give you that. Question 7. Chrysler departed Australia originally in what year?
Oh, come on, man.
Come on, you're the Chrysler expert.
Yeah, okay, so let's have a look at this. Mitsubishi bought them out, let's say 80...
It was very early 80s, I'll put it that way.
82.
82. 81.
That was close.
You were very close. I
was just going off with the last Chrysler, man, and just... Yeah, anyway. All right,
that's all right. The Audi R8 shares its V10 with what engine? It shares its V8 engine with what car?
The Audi R8.
Yep. The supercar.
With. Nah, I'm drawing a blank. Can I phone a friend or something?
James, do you know?
Don't look at me. I mean, bloody V6 twin turbo. I don't know. Words.
V10,
car words.
Let's think. Volkswagen and the V10s. Can I have a hint?
Well, it's owned by the Volkswagen Group. It's a Italian car. Lambo. What?
Oh, gee, the Gelato.
Yeah, it does have it with the Gelato. Yeah.
Done. Okay, cool.
The gelati?
The Gelato.
Can I have one?
You could spend 150 grand, or let's say 350 grand.
It's expensive ice cream.
Yeah.
No.
It's Neapolitan in colour. The Holden Commodore is currently sold in the US as a what? As a Chevy
Reese. What? Oh no! Wait. Which?
The SS.
The SS.
The SS, it's got HSV parts, but
Pontiac GTOs. Is that what?
No. It's currently as a Chevy.
Oh, okay.
Chevy what?
Besides being the GTO, I can't remember what the hell they were. No.
Chevy SS.
Still called SS over there?
Yep.
Oh, they did have the SS. Yeah, okay, cool.
True or false? All Subaru cars currently for sale are all-wheel drive.
False.
That's correct. So, Mr. Grasso, you've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not too bad.
The same as last time.
You've had a better score than that in the past. I'm not going to lie, but look, we're going to have to go to a break, and we'll be right back after this. And we're back on 98.9 Northwest FM. This is CarTorque with Matty J. Still in the studio with James and Adam. They haven't left me. They've stuck with me for this Aussie special, Aussie Muscle special. Look, there's so many Aussie cars. We could have went for hours on this topic.
The Interceptor.
Oh yeah, true. Well,
that's the only car.
It's based on an XB coupe. XB coupe. So yeah. So we did mention that, but yeah, the Interceptor is such a cool car. So I want to just get against the topic of something that happened to me. Check your tyres, people, because I had a puncture. I didn't realise because I got really low profile tyres. This is on my Laser, and I was driving home. I was driving to work actually, and I went around a corner on Moscoma Street, and the car just kind of kicked sideways completely out of nowhere when I was coming around a corner, and lucky there was no cars coming the other way, and I pulled over and I noticed there was a big hole in my sidewall. So always check your pressures. Always just if you notice something sus, or if you notice the car wasn't driving weird. Well, the thing is, my car wasn't driving weird. It just must have said no dice and let go. So it was actually pretty scary at the time because you had absolutely no control. But just as a community service announcement, just keep an eye out on your car. Look after your tires. Check your pressures regularly. So Mr. Grass, you got a big message to my brother.
Yeah, so what did I have to do for him? What did I say?
He said, hurry up and buy a car, you cheapskate.
Cheapskate. All right, cool. This is just for Luca. No one else, right? No one else needs to know about this. But I just bought a car, right? So when I come around and I'll show you what it is, because I'm not going to tell anyone now what it is, but actually I will. Nah, stuff it. I brought a Charger, mate. So yeah, I brought a 74 Charger.
Nice. So that'll be a VJ?
VJ.
Yep.
Yeah, VJ 74. Hemi 6.
Hemi 6, 265.
265.
Single carb?
It's got a 4-barrel on at the moment.
Okay, yeah. You're going to put triple Webbers?
I've got the triple Webbers.
Oh, it came with it?
Yeah. The guy chucked in the triple Webbers, so it's already cammed. It's ported. It's everything. It's ready to go. Just slap the Webbers on.
Manual or auto?
4-speed manual.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's gonna fly.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess to put the cherry on the top, it's actually an ex-New South Wales police car.
You're kidding. Mm-hmm. There you go.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Got cup shocks, cup brakes.
Cup shocks, cup brakes. Actually, yeah.
It's a BT1. It's a BT1.
It's a BT1 before they even were released, mate.
Congratulations. That is really cool. I'm super happy for you. What colour?
Its original colour is actually amber.
Okay, cool.
The car's been resprayed in Limelight, which was a factory VJ colour. It was actually a VH and VJ colour. I believe the colour died with the VJs. So, yeah, it's a factory colour. Not its original colour, but it's still a really nice colour.
Is it factory 4-speed or is it?
Factory. Everything else is factory.
Wow.
Everything else is as it was when it rolled out of the factory. Interior, the motor, everything. It's original engine as well.
Some numbers matching and everything.
Numbers matching everything except for the colour, which which is cool.
Yeah.
It's just a
spot of difference.
That's it. Yeah.
So is it I've got to remember what options was it fitted with? Was it Povo pack? Is it a cop car? Or
that's the thing. The cop cars were sort of a Povo pack in a way. It is in its build line. It's a middle. It's a high medium range car. So it's not exactly Povo, but it did come with cop options. So the internals of the engine were different between a stock charger and a cop spec one. So they had a K10 option, which meant it had parts from the RT. So it had
cool.
RT. I can't remember exactly. I think it was crankshaft was for RT. The balancer was from the RT.
Dope.
The 4-speed wasn't from the RT, but it's just a few internals are from the RT. But then
It's got the big tank?
It hasn't got the big tank. It's got standard tank, but it's got brake bias valve, which was RT only.
Yeah.
It has 4-way flashes, which were hazard lights.
Revolutionary.
Revolution. I'm like, they didn't come with them, though. That was the funny thing. They did not come with them.
Really?
I don't even think it was an option, to be honest.
What the hell?
So it was a cop thing. It has dual horns, which are only on the deluxe model. Actually, RT only, I believe, if not deluxe. It's got the spotties at the front, which aren't on at the moment, but they'll normally cop only spec. I've got the light bar, the cop light bar with the sirens.
Oh, really?
As well.
No way.
Is that on the car at the moment?
That isn't on the car at the moment.
Oh my god, it's hilarious.
It's pretty much ready to wire up. It's got the light and the sirens and everything, which is cool.
That's cool, yeah.
Look, there's a couple of other things I probably missed. I can't remember. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Nice. That's cool. That's cool. That's definitely something to keep a hold of and all appreciate. How's it for? I know these things are phenomenal for rust, but is it super clean? Like
it's when this guy went through, he's obviously redone all the interior, cut out rust and replaced panels. But surprisingly, there isn't that much rust on it. I think there was a little bit at the back, but they rust a lot in the plenum, so in the front of the dashboard, and zero.
Wow,
absolutely zero at the front there, which is really good. It's a solid car.
Yeah.
So look, I don't know where in New South Wales it came from. I'm still looking into a few things in the history side of the Valiants, which I can get a bit more info on. But it could even be in a country car. So I don't know yet. But it'll be pretty cool to see where it came from.
That's definitely awesome. Yeah. So, that's crazy how that was the next cop car as well. That is really cool.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's stamped. It's stamped on the body plate and on the engine that it's a K10 option, which was a New South Wales police car only build.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's a piece of Aussie muscle history. Yeah. Really, it is. Yeah. It is. So that's that's definitely something to appreciate with.
Yeah.
Yeah, so congratulations, Adam.
Thank you.
That is a really cool buy. I'm gonna have to come past and have a suss at this thing, and we can go for a cruise in it.
That's it. F6 and the Charger.
F6 and the Charger.
It might be a bit faster. Okay, the F6 will be faster, but 40 or so years difference.
Can we only refer to it as the police cruiser?
Yeah,
from now on?
We can.
You need to put the sirens on it, please.
Yeah. I could pull you over, dude.
Pull me over. I mean, we could do reenactments and be all sorts of lame and car nerdy kind of thing. But
that's another thing. It's got LSD.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's got LSD.
Chuck the hoops.
Don't worry, I can mate 11s all down the street.
Well, once you chuck the triple Webbers on there, we'll see how you go.
Oh mate, it won't be able to. It's just wheel spin all 4 gears, mate.
All 4 gears, he says. But I reckon once you put the triple Webbers on, you'd probably give me a good run.
Look, if you tune them right and you've got all the supporting stuff, which it's got majority of the supporting mods, you can get over 300 kilowatts out of the things, man. It's incredible.
Has it got an exhaust or anything, or just standard exhaust?
It's got It's got an exhaust. It's got extractors. It's got pacemakers on it.
Oh,
so
cool.
It's pretty much straight through. It's got a hot dog at the back to tone it down a little. But it sounds good. It does sound nice.
Nice.
So.
Well, it's 8:00 now, so it's time for us to end. But congratulations to get out of on your car. That's really good. You've been looking for a long time.
It's been a few years now, easy. So
I know my brother's been giving you heaps of SH1T about it. But even I have as a friendly get up and go. But congratulations, that is really cool. I'm super happy for you. And stay tuned for obviously James' show. You can give it your own plug, James.
Man vs. Movies every Tuesday at 6 p.m.
Every Tuesday, right before CarTorque with me. And obviously listen to Dr. Rock, who messaged in tonight. I always give him a good shout out. He's just finished Rocktober on Thursday nights with the Thursday Waffle with his good mate Fitzy, which is always a good listen. They always tell the funniest knock jokes and stuff like that.
Jokes.
It's the best. Just tune in to them on a Thursday night. And he's got his own show on the Monday night.
For Your Pleasure.
For Your Pleasure, that's it. For Your Pleasure with Dr. Rock, which is always good listening. He's always got good topics he talks about. So keep an eye out for that. It's time for me to sign off, though. We're going to sign off. Like our Facebook page. It's CarTorque, TORUQE. QUE. I can't even spell it at the moment. I'm too mystified.
And this guy's a teacher.
And I'm supposed to be a teacher. We'll see you next week. So take it easy.